supposed to leave them here and then they're gonna come.
Yeah, but that's hers.
That's mine, yeah.
They
Oh.
just, they're just trying to make sure they're Windows 11 and can they be upgraded if they're not.
I mean, it's an iPad, it doesn't run Windows 10.
Right.
So I don't know what that means.
I would ask Steve. He should be here. Right. Yours right. Yours doesn't run Windows.
It sure do.
So ours are probably all Windows 10, and they'll have to. They can buy that patch for like $80.
And this is for the
computer.
MFA stuff?
Yeah. Well, part of it, yeah. But they're no longer being updated. You can't get updates unless you buy the patch for the year for like $80 a computer. Because Windows 11 is or Windows 10 is no longer being what's the word I'm looking for?
Used?
No,
It's obsolete.
no, it's not obsolete. It's no longer being updated, no longer being upgraded, no longer being what's the word I'm looking for? There's a term for that.
I don't know.
Serviced?
Service. That's one of the words. That's not.
That's not the word.
Look at that. You've got that nice 1811. You've got that on. Eve's got hers on. Hers looks a little different than yours.
We had a Rotary presentation at 7:30 this morning. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. What can I get away with and where to both places?
Operational.
Pardon me?
No longer operational.
No, that's not the word.
It's all set up for the city Christmas party or something.
I don't know.
Tomorrow. I think
She just put a little, and everybody listened. But she's allowed 4 minutes.
I don't know.
Is this a volume thing on here?
I guess so. The push, I think, is you have to hold that to turn it on.
Yeah, but
It's on now.
I understand. It just seems like it's picking up. It's really hot.
Really hot.
Really hot.
Okay, good. That's all right. If you already got it saved in there, that's good.
Yeah,
So
and
Steve,
if for
what's
any
the word
reason
I'm
this goes
looking for?
away,
And that is
Terrific.
Nope.
you're
I'll
down
explain.
with class. So it's right
Windows 10
If
is
you
no
look at
longer
this,
being supported. There we go.
that
I
is
couldn't think of that word.
So
here. This little blue folder.
when so they
And if you
they
forget that,
went
just
into
bring it
Windows
down.
11
Find them where you are.
Okay,
effective
bless your heart, thank you. I'll
October
run this
17th.
out.
Windows put out a fix. It's called Windows 10 Pro that will upgrade the security. You can do it up to 3 years
Sound
or buy
like
a year
Christmas
contract
thing
if you
downtown.
want.
We were down there.
So like we look at your guys' computers, we don't know if that's some will
We
not
waved
are
at
not
Santa.
upgraded. We had some at fire and police we did upgrade, a couple here we were able to, and the theory there was to be that we were okay. Buy X number 1 year, X number the next, instead of buying 50 years. So tomorrow they're going to come in and look at the computers and see if they are upgradable and if they meet the needs. And part of the thing was asking what else we have to replace them, get the person what are you using for, make sure we're buying the right.
It's 26 already.
Yeah.
Okay, here.
Just don't know, and then like you actually.
Must have been one of the
said you
decided
had
it
your
took forever to get by.
Oh.
So
Speed
on
up.
our MFA stuff, it's still.
I like to watch the train, but
I would think this it doesn't run Windows at all.
No, well, it'll still, as long as you can access,
The
like if you go,
computers, they're just checking
you
them
go into
to make sure they're
text and email.
have the signatures or whatever. I don't know.
I would get a hand like that.
So whether you use
The
our,
laptop,
No, the
you
the
know, use
paper,
what-
it came through the email.
I didn't think they had any.
Do you check
They
the
asked me
city
if
email? But it's only if
Oh,
you
so you
have
don't
the
have a
laptop.
I don't have one
Okay,
at
so I
all.
don't,
Oh, okay. Oh,
other than
Did
what
you,
you use is we looking
you
at,
check the email?
I'm not good at that.
hey, here's what I
So I
use.
did that.
Not necessarily buying for you, but
And when you're on a house sometimes, you hate to say
we're
it.
gonna try to.
I mean, this is.
Yeah.
What is that?
It should have been on there.
It's not even a computer. It's a fancy screen that checks
Find my
emails and makes
minutes.
documents easy.
Or
the
Yeah,
stuff from the
that was the
public
main
service.
thing, yeah, we'll check them.
And I
then
couldn't,
somebody
I went
needs to
on,
add
I just one that said November,
it's
and
ours.
had another November, I never did that.
Just to make sure.
Got it.
But like if, like you said, Andy said, hey, I need that back, you know, we'll have it done tomorrow. if
Yeah.
They don't meet the minimum security requirements.
I don't need it back tomorrow.
I figured both.
I don't use it for anything
On
other than
safety.
email. I use my phone for everything.
Did you have one?
Yeah, we had a conversation with him about that, about how that would work.
I think I had two Novembers, one a long one and a short
MFA
one.
we do, we'll still.
Yeah, I'd use my phone just to check my email usually.
Good evening.
And I assume that's probably what most people.
I don't know if I brought one or not. Let me look.
Anybody else need a form?
What's the
Nope,
form?
I have one.
I guess I could take one just in case.
We sent
I think she got it.
Just, we're gonna have them come in and check all the computers. and see if they're-
I got email mine that kind of.
Okay, here, the form, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll put them in there.
Yes.
You want the power cord too?
And the light sitting here hidden.
It's a safety.
Oh, yeah. We're, yeah, when you turn that in, give me a look too. That way he's checking to make sure.
It was there, here,
Got
I
here.
remember reading this, I'm just gonna read this one.
Okay, let me look in here.
I need to get another of them, I was just. Here, not in the other.
Will this stay large?
Got one, John. Okay.
The never wasn't here at all.
Yeah.
That's why I think we're gonna have two November 15s, and I thought maybe might just do that.
If I run across it all, I'll give it to you.
The lady in the white.
She's the new condo association president. Condo association president. Just here to.
She looks familiar, but I couldn't think of her name.
Feel good?
Sometimes I have to keep where I know them.
Paint pen is right out of it.
Yes.
I
I
got
know
one.
she had gone
There's a
there.
couple up here if you need them.
You don't happen to have a copy of the police report, do you?
I do, yep.
Josh not here?
No, he's not here either. Screwed up something going on. Oh, no.
I think his daughter plays basketball, doesn't she?
If you got it, let me borrow it from you. Get it with John.
What did you start?
Okay.
He was hoping to like late spring one.
I have one.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
I don't have.
Like I should know
I don't have
what
one.
I'm doing by now.
No,
I didn't ask.
I'm still learning. I thought there's always something new comes up.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
Looking for a report.
Make sure you got all straightened out.
Yes. Well,
What's that? Two of them have been there. One, I think, it's pretty similar.
Yeah.
The
just gonna
you
get,
know, and Dylan
Okay.
resigning, that's it.
I think they just have.
Good evening, everyone. We'll call this London City Council meeting to order. Everyone will stand with me for the pledge. In a moment of silent reflection, Councilman McDaniels, in honor of your last meeting, would you please honor us by leading the pledge?
I pledge
pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, will you take the roll call, please?
Councilman Eads?
Here.
Councilman Hitt?
Here.
Councilman Hayes?
present,
Councilwoman Jackman?
Here?
Councilman McDaniels?
Here.
Councilman Stahl?
President.
Councilwoman Trainer?
Here.
Thank you. I would like to thank the clerk. If you don't know, tonight will be his last council meeting. I'd like to thank him for his service. I thought it was very professional, and the minutes I could always follow along with those. I certainly appreciate your efforts, and I do want to thank you. Moving on to the minutes. Is there any additions or corrections to the minutes tonight? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And opposed? None. Thank you. We're not having any public hearings tonight. Communications and announcement. We do have an announcement. So our next meeting would be scheduled for January the 1st. We're not going to meet on January the 1st. This building will be closed. We are going to move that meeting to January 5th, Monday, January 5th at our regular time. We'll have our swearing in that day. For anybody that needs to be sworn in, we'll have the swearing in that day. Mr. Boyd, did you pick up on that? Thank you. And then we'll move on to our regular schedule of the first and third Thursdays of the month after that. So once again, January 1st meeting has been moved to Monday, January 5th. Audience concerns? Mr. Kevin Crossley, if you'll step up to the microphone, state your name and address.
Kevin Crossley, 1044 Portway. It's about the sanitation. I know in past meetings regarding recycling this and that, it's been put off that the former service safety director was kind of in charge of all that. Let's move forward from all that, start fresh. We need bodies and some equipment, and this department will run sufficiently and make the city proud. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Raymond Anthony.
Raymond Anthony, 521 Eaton. On December the 10th, I sent an email to the mayor, and this is what I sent to him. I tried to listen to the December 4th, 2025 City Council meeting. However, I could not because there was no sound. I went back to the November 20th, 2025 City Council meeting, and there was sound, but not loud enough to hear what was being discussed. Whose responsibility is it to make sure the sound system is turned on before every city council meeting and to make sure there is enough volume so you can watch and hear the city council meeting as well? I attend most of the city council meetings. I have brought this issue up twice in the past year only to fall on deaf ears. The city can appropriate monies on just about anything, but the city can't come up with funds to upgrade our sound system for our city council meetings. I'd like to read the reply from the mayor. The city council meetings are their meetings, ran by them, and the videoing is their responsibility. If they would like to appropriate money to upgrade, we can get that done. Sometimes the issue is that they lean back and do not talk into the microphone. At the last meeting, when the clerk showed up, he let us know that it was recording but not the sound. We tried to troubleshoot it on the spot, but it didn't work. Since then, we've had a technician come in, and it seems to be working. I hope this answers your questions, and have a wonderful day. My comment to City Council going into 2026. I would hope that the City Council would look into this issue to where this sound system can be upgraded so that if you can't attend a meeting, you can listen to it at home on whatever device you have, so that you can get what is talked about in those meetings. Thank you.
Thank you. Along those lines, Mr. Anthony, I'll just make a quick comment. I think even though it's been properly noted that we're not required to have video, we're not required to have an audio recording, we've kind of set the bar that this is what we do and have been doing, and I agree that I'd like to see that be done consistently, and if we have to look at an upgrade, then I think we should do that. So I just wanted to let you know that. Thank you. Any other comments? Is there anybody that didn't get a chance to sign up that would like to speak? Okay, thank you. Moving on to committee reports. We'll start with Mr. McDaniels.
Attended the public service and public safety on the 9th, and I have the Parks and Rec, fire EMS. I'll start with the Parks and Rec. There's a plan to discuss resident versus non-resident rates for 2026 at the next Parks and Recreation meeting on Tuesday, January 26th at 4:30. It's going to be repairs done before opening day. Cowling Park installed new Christmas lights along Main Street this year. Youth sports recreational basketball game started this past Sunday, December 7th, and will continue into January. Spring volleyball registration will be starting at the end of February, and there's expansion of the parking lot at Park Avenue and Hawthorne Avenue. And in the fire and EMS, he had departmental EMS training, pediatric toxicology through Ohio Health, departmental fire training, new part-timer orientation. Hosted several students for ride time for tolls and grant paramedic class. Provided EMS coverage for football games. Began the toy drive festivities and participated in a funeral procession for Lieutenant White. That's all I have.
I have a question, whether for you or maybe the administration. With the paving of the basketball courts, and we're going to put pickleball there, have lines been laid out for that already? Has it been painted?
So I think the plan, so the paving occurred, the plan is in the spring, they will come in. I don't think it's going to be line paving. They've got a platform they put down to set those up. Nothing is like that's occurred yet. And it was waiting till spring. One, they had to be ordered. The other, not to put it down until it can be set in the
That was
spring.
going to be a sport court type thing?
Sport court, yeah.
Okay, I forgot about that.
And I think that's targeting around May, somewhere around there is when it's supposed to happen.
Okay, I had someone ask about that the other day. Thank you. Mr. Hayes?
We had safety service meeting on December the 9th. All three committee members were present. We approved the November meeting minutes. Chief Nickel attended the meeting, gave his report. Mr. Stahl will give that report momentarily. Chief Eads from the fire department gave his report. And as you heard, Mr. Anthony or Mr. Brent just gave that. Safety Service Director advised us that they are in the finalizing the traffic control plan or the traffic calming plan. And under old business, we had none. New business, we had none. Very short meeting. We adjourned at 6:08. Next meeting will be on January 13th, 2026 at 6 p.m. in the conference room next door. Thank you.
Thank you. I attended the Personnel Budget and Finance Committee meeting. Just a quick update there. The expenses, pardon me, the revenue for the year. That lost me. The revenue for the year, $22,428,235 and change. If we subtract the $4.2 million from the bond, that leaves us with $18,228,751. The expenses for the year are $19,057,961 and change. One of the questions that I ask is, why are we below that number? And it was explained the paving, that all came up later. I mean, it was paid for, it was appropriated, but it was an expense, so that kind of hit all at once with the paving for the year. There didn't seem to be much concern at this point about that overall. Department head updates. I'm sure I do have the tax report, and I don't know that I have it in front of me. And if I do, I do, and if I don't, I don't. But the taxes were up. Do you have that?
Yep.
Oh, you want to give that in a minute? I'll just let you give that. Go ahead.
Let's see. General fund was up 5.98% for the year. For the fire department, that was up 7.52% for the year. I don't know if you want the amounts or not, but
No, that's fine. We know the tax collections are up a little bit. I appreciate that. Thank you. Under new business, we, if you don't know it, we consider ourselves a trail town for bike riders. There's Morpsey and I think the state maybe are working on a trail town designation throughout the state. They're using us as one of the first ones. The Friends of Madison County Parks and Trails asked for us to make a small contribution to the money that they'll need for their startup, which is initially $6,500. They're going to raise some funds, but they asked if we could contribute, and I think we agreed up to $3,500 out of our own funds. We don't need a piece of legislation for that. There were some new policies that have been brought forth by our hired HR person. They brought those forth, and we're going to see an item tonight about the new computers. The police department is in need of computers to make those compliant at the state level, so there will be a piece of legislation that comes up for that. There's also going to be another piece about a police cruiser, if we want to go ahead and get a police cruiser this year instead of waiting till next year. If they have a normal schedule, we can talk about that later.
Can I say something about that, Ms. Reeves?
Pardon me?
Can I say something about that?
Sure.
A police cruiser would be better than a $70,000+ SUV. So we should think more of a police cruiser instead of a $70,000.
Well, that's the price that there is. I'm not sure what it is, to tell you the truth, Brent. I just know that they said that there was one available now. We wouldn't have to wait 6 to 8 months to get it. So we'll discuss that when it comes up in new business.
Cruisers work fine in this mountainous terrain we live in.
I'm sorry?
I said cruisers work fine in this mountainous terrain that we live in.
Our next meeting will also be on the 13th. We'll follow the other two meetings, so we'll officially say we'll start at 6:30. If they run over, we'll be a little late. And if they finish early, we'll start on time. So. Okay, that's what I have. Andy?
yeah. I attended the Finance Committee meeting and the Public Service Committee meeting. Greg covered the Finance Committee meeting, and we had a very short meeting for Public Service, so there's nothing additional on that other than we will meet January 13th at 5 o'clock in the meeting room next door.
All right. Ms. Trainer?
Just to fill in the blanks a little bit about the Morpsey and the Friends of Madison County Parks and Trails initiative to be recognized as a trail town. A trail town is a new designation that right now is going to places like Columbus, Westerville, Worthington, that designates municipalities or cities as being bike or cyclist friendly. So it's kind of really thrilling that such a small community as London is on the scale of those larger cities. The initial deposit of $6,500 was being, there were matching funds that were raised by Madison County Parks and Trails, Friends of Madison County Parks and Trails, Chamber of Commerce also committed. I think they also did some fundraising efforts. The initial, the contribution from the city amounted to $3,500. That money was already available within the budget for 2025 from professional services, so it's just a matter of invoicing. Should council approve that, no further legislation was needed. That initial $6,500 fee would be followed by a $2,500 annual membership fee that the Friends of Madison County Parks and Trails believes that they can handle through their regular fundraising initiatives. And the initial funding and the continuous funding would be really towards making London a place on the map when it comes to being a trail town, including making sure there's ample bike racks and that the tree boxes, which are now helpful for cyclists to come into town, would also include lots of wayfinding and signage and promotional activities really geared towards the cycling community. So I think not only is it a $3,500 well spent, but since the city would not bear any continuing costs for that, this is just sort of an initial startup fee. But I believe the city does stand to benefit pretty immensely from being recognized as a trail town. Other matters that were discussed at finance are going to come up here later on the agenda.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Stahl?
I attended the Public Service and the Finance Committee, and I have a report from the Police Department for the Safety Committee. Building construction is progressing with frame roof trusses and the concrete poured on the detention side and the carport areas. LPD attended the funeral and provided traffic control for MCSO Detective White's funeral procession with a big assist from London Fire, Central Fire Departments, along with OSP. Officer Dylan Myers has resigned as an officer to accept a position with MCSO. Officers assisted with security and traffic control for the downtown old-fashioned Christmas event. We are once again hiring officers. The job posting is online and they're accepting applications until January 5th. Thank you.
Okay, is that all you have? Okay.
That's all I have.
Jackman?
Yes. I attended the Public Service Committee meeting, and I have the street department's report. As was mentioned by a few others, they were busy helping with old-fashioned Christmas, running the street sweeper, putting up signage, and also getting ready for the snow. There's also quite a few entries on Bill's notes that they were helping with the trash department. Repaired the arm on the trash truck. They've done some tree trimming, the no parking signs for old-fashioned Christmas, worked on the trash trucks, had to talk to a citizen about a tree, plowed snow, worked with old-fashioned Christmas, provided assistance to the trash department, street sweeper for old-fashioned Christmas, yard waste for the trash department. They had to push it up and pick it up. Repaired the locking bar on a rear load trash truck, more brush pile work with the trash department, and also had to work on the trash department's backhoe. So they, as usual, were very busy and all over town helping out.
Thank you. Moving on, city officials' reports.
Good evening. Thanks everyone for coming out. I do want to start off by thanking Matt for his service to City Council as clerk. Appreciate all he did for the city. And as you guys spoke about, City Council will now be looking for a new clerk. So if someone is interested, they can apply online at londonohio.gov under Job Opportunities tab. Also want to thank Mr. McDaniels for his service to London City Council, as it's his last meeting today, for now, right?
Early Christmas present.
We spoke about this, but the London Police Department building construction is ongoing. They're continuing to work hard, but the weather has not been kind to us, as you guys can tell. The snow and frigid days have had a little bit of a slowdown, but they continue to make progress. I do want to congratulate Madison County on landing Net World Sports. It's a huge investment in the county, bringing a lot of jobs. And I've seen a lot of articles, and it says, coming to London, which in theory is true, but this property is located on the corner of State Route 42 and 29. So it's past the expressway. It is a London address, but is not in the city limits. So I know there was some confusion online when people started posting those articles. But we are continuing to work with One Columbus to get someone in the old Honeywell building. They've had some interest. We've had some conversations. They've had some walkthroughs in the buildings. The team will continue to work to hopefully get that building filled soon. And One Columbus does feel like they have a couple real good leads. So I have set up a time to meet with them in January and to continue the efforts to get that occupied. Business View Magazine has done another article on London, and they'll be launching that article after the holidays. The article is named Growing with Purpose, which talks about balancing growth, also the infrastructure, and keeping that small town charm. I'm excited to have the article be released to highlight all the great things going on in London and the teamwork that's taken place to make that happen. I was able to teach a junior achievement to Miss Dunham's class at London Elementary, and I took a day and went and spoke with Miss McCormick's 7th grade class about career readiness. Going into the middle school was a great experience where I got to talk about my job, different city jobs, and just employment as a whole. The young adults were fantastic, and they had a lot of great questions. And as I spoke about, it's always a key responsibility of the mayor to do that community outreach and just showing up and listening and staying engaged with residents at every stage of life. So opportunities like visiting schools and helping teach students matter because they help build trust and spark curiosity and remind us that young people at their local leaders are invested in them and in their future. I've been able to attend some events around town this month. Madison Hill's Heartfelt Holidays. Madison County Board of DD had their office decoration tour. The Rotary Club's Santa breakfast, and then Buckeye Community School had a pancake breakfast. And I even got to show off the pipes and sing at the Board of DD's Christmas Cabaret with the Manning sisters, which is always a wonderful time and really seems to get people into the holiday spirit. I was also able to be part of London Police Department's Shop with a Cop. It was a great event that helped out so many families and kids. Right now it's tough for some families around the holidays, and events like this and the fire department's Toys for Tots, and I don't know if you saw, but even a local business, Reinhardt Speed Towing, had a toy giveaway for families in need, and that was amazing. So I want to thank them and all who gave to make Christmas a little special for those families around town that really need it. Fun fact is number 7. It's only 7 days until Christmas, if you can believe that. So I hope you have all your shopping as well as wrapping done. I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I look forward to what 2026 will bring, continuing working hard for the citizens. And just to let you guys know, I'll be looking to give the State of the City address either in the second meeting in January or one of the meetings in February. So everyone has a wonderful and blessed Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Saltzman?
So I'll just have a couple things to add. So one, last week I had an opportunity to go to a ODOT conference on roundabouts. Learned everything I ever wanted to know about roundabouts. Cost, designs, a lot of new trends out there. It was actually a great, they had people literally from all over the country, different states that attend. But for me, just especially getting into some of the zoning and things like that, it was a good experience to see the number of options out there and have a path forward. So today I attended the Madison County Chiefs meeting for the police and fire chiefs. There we discussed that London will be hosting a full-scale exercise in the spring. So last year they did a tabletop. Actually, they may call this a functional. But they did a tabletop exercise involving one of our businesses and with hazardous materials and that, and they're going to do it's either functional or full scale in the spring. So good to see us participating in that. Only other thing, and we talked earlier about some of the policies. So one, we've been communicating with you guys about computer issues, so hope to have the cybersecurity and IT policy updated to bring it to the next meeting to get those updated in, and also just working on updating and getting job descriptions current.
Okay. Any questions for the administration? Okay, thank you. Moving on to old business. Resolution 18925, motion to read by title and number.
So moved.
Second.
Resolution 18925, a resolution authorizing the auditor to open a bank account for the tax department.
Oh, this is mine. Sorry. It is exactly what it sounds like it is. There was apparently some confusion with deposits coming in from the tax department that weren't readily reconcilable because of the joint deposits that were coming in from the city. So I think this proposal would allow tax deposits to come into the tax department, being reconciled within that department, and then moving over to the auditor's department. So it would be time saving, which is a cost saving measure. Unfortunately, it's just one of those things that has to come before council for approval. It's pretty ministerial, but that's where we are.
Any further discussion on that? There is an emergency clause on this.
Did she need this
I'll
done
make
at
a-
the end of the year?
She would prefer to have it by the end of the year, so
Oh,
it
okay.
starts fresh at the start of the year.
That would make sense to me, right?
Yes.
Dan?
I'll make a motion to suspend the 3 reading rule.
I'll second it.
Mr.
Clerk?
Eads,
Yes.
Mr. Hayes,
Yes.
Mr. Hitt,
Yes.
Ms. Jackman,
Yes.
Mr. McDaniels,
No.
Mr. Stahl,
Yes.
Ms. Trainer.
Yes.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Ms. Trainer,
Yes.
Mr. Eads,
Yes.
Mr. Hayes,
Yes.
Mr. Hitt,
Yes.
Ms. Jackman,
Yes.
Mr. McDaniels,
Yes.
Mr. Stahl.
Yes.
18925 has been adopted. Moving on, 190-25, a motion to read by title and number.
So moved.
Second.
Resolution 19025, a resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to advertise for bids for sanitation department services.
So this is just what it sounds like. It's to make a determination whether to privatize sanitation services or not, and to allow the Safety Service Director to put out bids for that if we would choose to privatize. Is there any additional information related to that?
Well, yes, I'm going to add a little bit to that. It's just a discussion point. So it seems like we would be a little quick on this if we just went in right directly to that to advertise for bids, which we can do. We can get the bids, although we don't really know what the public wants. We're going to be making a determination whether or not we know what the public wants. I think it would be beneficial to the public if we get this on the ballot, and the ballot could say something such as, should the City of London continue with sanitation services? At that point, if the public speaks and say they want it, then we know which way to go. We know that we have to fix it. We know we're going to have to raise our rates. We know that we're going to have to do that. If the public says, no, we don't want to we don't want to continue the service, then we know which way to go there. And we're going to have to put that out to bid. We can, as a council, move forward and try to push this through without knowing that. You know, we could do a poll, but polls aren't going to be very scientific. The most scientific poll we're ever going to have is at the ballot box. And I just think that I wanted to bring that up. I've had that discussion with a couple other people that, you know, they seem to think it was a good idea. At least it would be fairly done at that point. So whether or not you want to move forward, we can leave this on the second reading tonight, and we don't have to make that determination tonight, but I at least want to bring that up for discussion for later. Mr. Saltzman?
Okay, so, in regards to, I'll start first, second.
I don't think your mic's working.
If, is it on?
No.
Oh, I think it is.
No.
No? No,
Nope, he's just a good projector.
I heard him.
Mine is like ringing away.
Sound like it's working.
We meeting.
Yeah.
Mr. Anthony's right.
We'll try that again. Mr. Saltzman?
Okay, better?
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot better.
I mean, I could hear you before, but you know, we want the
I
public
project.
to hear you, right?
So earlier conversation about that. There's a few issues that have to happen to extend that into that time period. One is the extension of the contract with Rumpke to continue their services. The contract does allow that to continue. I think the last meeting we talked about extending it in through March. We could extend it for for that year. I've got a call into them. They did not reply back after I reached out for them today, but I expect that to come back. It is in the contract that way. And there could be additional costs. As we talked the last week, we know there's some additional costs that are added to it to extend it because of issues that exist currently at the transfer station. So I will definitely continue to look at that. You want me to go over everything since we're on tape, or how do you want to do that? Live?
Well, I mean, if there's 4 different things that have to do with this, and they all kind of tie together. So, you know, even though this is 190.25 to advertise for bids to shop this out, you're now discussing 191 because we have to have our trash hauled away in the meantime. So, I mean, I think if you want to just continue on with that conversation, then we'll kind of have a better overall viewpoint. Thank you.
So the initial look was to see, is it feasible to maintain our current services or increase them to bring it up to service, or to privatize the current services, meaning sanitation and recycling. So looking at the two, there's pros and cons both ways. One of the things we determined is that there's no way we continue the current services, add the people and the equipment we need for the current rates that we were. So our determination originally was $8 to $10 additional a month to get that. With that came some of the stuff Mr. Crosley talked about, the equipment. So we do have a number of trucks, but the realism is we have one lease truck that we have that's used, and then 2 of the 2019 trucks that were previously purchased that can run, but alternate when they're down, and other equipment. So the initial ask was that we get rid of the lease, buy 2 trucks, and then we need to buy probably a rear load for the dumpsters that we have. So three different trucks to purchase. One of the problems we have with the current system is we use that as a transfer station. These guys go out, they pick it up, they bring it back, they dump it, it goes into a compactor. Those compactors need upgraded. The boxes, I think that's a proper term, needs updated. And that's part of the reason for the increase. That's Rumpke's responsibility, not ours, but they're going to charge us for that. The other issue is that system runs on a rotor system, and we just don't have the ability to keep repairing that system. We would likely have to upgrade to a 3-phase system. In conversations with Ohio Edison, is they would have to run either a line from, I believe, Center Street or from 56 over to there, and the anticipated cost is somewhere between, let's say, $150,000 to $175,000. That would be to maintain that electric system in 3-phase for the system. We also talked about some of the other costs, building repairs. That would be whether we privatize or keep it ourselves, probably around $150,000. Those are going to have to be, because it's a city building, we continue to use it one way or the other. So that we need to put money into it, but it really doesn't have a real impact on that decision. The biggest change I think recently we've seen is the hauling fees as they've increased each year of the contract, and I expect them to continue to go up. We just can't tell you exactly what they are. I know they're going to be $83.40 a ton starting January 1st through March. We just don't know after that because of the need for a contract. The recycling, we currently pay $1,300 a month to transfer that. The best I can tell you, other than that's our only real hard cost that we have. But as we've talked over and over, what we do have is wear and tear on the trucks, and with that sometimes also creates overtime. So that should be fixed with hiring people. Question come up last time, what's our staffing? So full staffing is 7 people. That would be, I believe, 5 drivers, the superintendent, and the
Foreman.
Yeah, I was trying to think what your title was, the foreman. As you heard in your report earlier, that street department send people over there regularly. They can't go without help. They can't get the work done if they don't have the people there.
How many staff is the sanitation department short right now?
So currently you have,
Currently, we have 3 drivers and one foreman.
So you have 3 people short?
so we had one employee was hired, well, 2 that recently hired, one that didn't make it through the week. We currently have 1 advertised
Okay.
for a job, so. So equipment, the staff, the age of the trucks and the maintenance of the trucks are an issue. We had a truck go down early this week. I'm not sure if that was from an accident or it was just wear and tear. So there's when there's time delays like that, we just don't have effective equipment for backup is part of the issue. Trying to think of some of the other questions were asked, just make sure I hit anything. So, again, with the authorized strength, we have 5 drivers. The foreman itself, we would need to get a new superintendent and replace that position. And then, again, as I spoke, the equipment, upgrading the electric, getting rid of the lease, which is more expensive, and purchasing a truck would be the most effective. I think we'd have to look at it if we were going to extend it out to decide if we just extend that lease first. And then a cost increase. So no matter what, I don't think we can move forward without a cost increase and cover it, whether it needs to be that amount in the temporary. I think the current setup is to raise 3% at the first year. I'll have to meet with the auditor to see what that number would look like to get us through May. Probably, I think with the numbers, we would probably be okay, but I don't know. Give me some time here to look at some of the notes from last week here. So,
Go ahead while you look at your notes. So, Councilman Eads, you talked about putting it on the ballot, and I think that it was done a long time ago too, right? Was it put on the ballot a long time ago? Do you know, Jason? I think at some point it was also. So if you decide to do that, is the primary May next year? So would you guys be looking to raise the rates before May, or wait until you get to May to see what to do?
Well, that's a good question, since Mr. Saltzman just said with the 3% increase that was already going to come in, that was already built in.
Correct.
With that increase, then, they might be able to get through May. I mean, this is just in the first discussion point of what we could possibly do to move forward. I think if we think about the primary, or if not, right? So there was, I discussed this with Mr. Saltzman a bit earlier today, and that is, if you wait until the November election, you don't have time to bid this out if you want to, right? So I think we're kind of in a situation that if we're going to put it on the ballot, we have to do it in May if we can. If we're going to change, then we've got a 6-month run up to get the bids and to do all of that, because you could make this effective January 1 of 2027. Right? That's just a thought process. I'm just bringing this up. And raising the fees, I mean, that's also on here tonight, as the mayor mentioned. So that is $192.25. I don't know what the thought process is on that. I don't think that we're going to be able to do without it one way or the other. I just don't know if we have to do it now.
As long as this is taken to get into this kind of condition, I don't think waiting until May is too long to wait.
Okay.
I mean, this has taken years to get into this situation.
What's the time frame as far as getting it on the ballot in May? It has to
I
be,
think it's 90 days.
so that'd be the first week of February. It'd have to be,
Yeah,
yeah.
I believe so. I believe it's 90 days.
Like you said, then we know what the people want.
Well, that's probably the only way we're going to know truly what the people want, I think.
This isn't transpired overnight. This is taking
Right.
years to get into this situation.
Right, I agree. So I know you were looking at your notes, Mr. Saltzman, because we're kind of all over the board here. There were some additional questions that were asked last time. Since we didn't have a recording, I just want to address those again so we can get those recorded. When the trucks were purchased 4 years ago, was there an expectation to keep the old rear loaders on the road at that time? And did we get rid of any older trucks at that time?
so you talking about so I think it was 2019, is that correct? 2019?
Yeah, I guess that's the date. So that's longer than 4 years ago, I apologize.
Started in 2020?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think they did get rid of trucks that time, right? That was the rear loaders. They went to those. They were kept. That is, we talked about that earlier. I think we have 2 of those. Is that correct? 2 rear loaders that are left that are there. One's a 2012 and the other's 2013. Is that correct?
One was like an 08.
Oh. 08, yeah. And then the only other truck, I think it's one when they went to recycling. Is that the 13? The 2013, that it's the green one that's not used that much. Or not used at all is probably better terminology, so.
Why it's not being used? Nobody to drive it, or?
No, I don't, first of all, it's a lot smaller, correct? And then it's in disrepair, it's not, I don't know what the word would be best, rusted out? That's a 2013, so. You know, in essence, we have the lease and the 2 auto cars that are used currently for trash pickup. If one's down, that creates an issue. Like, we definitely need to get more equipment, as, you know, when Kevin spoke, people and the equipment is what makes the difference.
Okay, next question. This was asked of me today, and I couldn't answer that. And that is, if the rates are raised by $8 to $10 or whatever that number may end up being, does this include keeping recycling, or is recycling going to be removed and that cost would not include recycling?
So that number did include what cost to maintain and continue the recycling as we currently do.
Okay, thank you. And then some of the other things that we discussed at the last meeting was, you know, can we determine, this may be lost income, you know, can we determine how much a free yard of waste costs the city? How much it costs to have the yard waste transported? There was a cost, I believe you said that was about $6,500, and that's just once per year, I believe you guys said. Is that correct?
I think that was right. I think we determined new costs were probably about $8,500.
Okay.
Roughly.
So that's a cost that we take on because we don't charge for that. That's just built into our prices to have that done. So that's, you know, that does cost a little bit more. And then I brought up the stormwater ordinance that currently it does not say that we can use that money for billing, but half of the billing that we pay for is for stormwater utility. So if we can take some of that money out of the stormwater utility to help pay for the bills, that would save sanitation some money because they're taking the brunt of the cost. Is that correct?
I believe that's correct, and to justify that comment, if we do civilianize, go away from city-provided service, we're still going to have to bill for the stormwater, so there's no reason. In my opinion, there's no reason that cost can't be shared, correct?
Right, so we'll probably have to get with the law director to see if we can make a change to that ordinance so that could be, that cost could be shared with the stormwater utility, which we all pay, and it's got money in it. I mean, I know that the point was to fix our storm sewers, but, you know, there's an additional cost that they're taking on because of that. Any other questions in general for Mr. Saltzman right now while we're having this bigger discussion?
I also think that you guys need to speak to legal about how to get something like that onto the ballot. If we're allowed to put something like that on the ballot, if it's a referendum by citizens, if it has to be a referendum by citizens to be put on the ballot, because it's not really like a tax issue. So I think there's some questions there on if it can get on the ballot, how it has to get onto the ballot, and then you can also double check on the time frames with that. But, you know, also if we're talking about May, these guys are saying we need more people, right? And we need a department head. So we can run those numbers and see if that 3% will hold us afloat, because it'll only be a half a year, but we'll probably definitely be over 50% of the budget by June if this goes to a ballot.
Do the other repairs that need done, can those wait till May, or those could be put off until May if it was to go to the ballot?
I mean, I think we can make some temporary, like the roofs could be temporary, probably fixed or the roof, at least on the main building. I'd have to look if there's something else. The siding on the back can wait till then. I mean, it's something that's gonna have to be done eventually anyway, maintain the building, but I wouldn't wanna leave, you know, we'd have to do something to fix those roofs. I think.
So the electric and the additional compactor wouldn't need to be done unless we retain sanitation services, is that correct?
It is, and that's just, that's one of the chances we take if something goes down in the meantime of coming up with a plan B. That's probably a complete wasted amount of money if we don't maintain them, or if we're gonna maintain them, we're gonna have to have it. So it's one of those calls we'd have to look at. And the other issue is, like, we could start now, it may not happen even before May. I don't know what, and even we talked to Hiatus, and he couldn't give us a schedule of how long that would take to get done. So I think we continue to look at it and then make that decision and move forward, and then continue to look to see if we can find somebody else to do repairs on the rotor system until then. It's a dying trade. It's just not a lot of people can do it, but we continue to look to see. I mean, if it happened tomorrow, we'd have to do the same thing. So it's prudent we look, period.
So if we put out bids for hauling, is that an annual contract? So if we get a contract with whoever wins the bid,
3-year
we're
contract.
obligated for that time frame to pay for that contract costs?
The last contract we did was a 3-year contract with escalating cost each year. They raise their fees each year. You can do it, I mean, you can set the standard how you want like that, but I think the look here, we would just extend the current contract, which it states in the contract can be extended additional years. So that's how I think we take advantage of that and extend that contract to September would be the end of the year. I think that's when the first one started, was in like 2022 or something like that.
And you mentioned the hauling fees of $83.40. That's an increase starting in January?
I think it's 83.40, I'm sorry, yeah. That will start January 1st. That will be the increase too. That went up about $6 or $7 a ton.
Okay.
So part of the reason that's going up is because they have to replace that. Yeah, the box and update or repair potentially update or repair the compactor. I hope tomorrow I'll hear from Mr. Rupert and have a better idea on what, if we extend it out to the full year, will he stick with this price for us through that year? That would help us a little bit to understand.
Mr. Saltzman, I believe we're leasing one of the trucks now, and that lease is up.
It'll be up, I think, in January or February. I have to look. I think it's January.
So-
It was a 6-month lease. We can extend that lease.
Okay.
Yeah, we can extend it.
I know
It
that
just-
was,
It's definitely a lot more expensive. I think the
Yes.
question come up last time, like, what would it cost to just lease instead of purchase? Well, you're paying a lot more for that lease over the time of the lease.
Right.
I do agree if the short term made sense, let's lease it while we're trying to look and determine what our needs are. If we're gonna continue on, I think we're much smarter to make a purchase and not continue to lease. The
Okay.
lease in the short term, probably the most prudent thing to do with fund-wise until we make that determination.
What is our lease payment a month?
11,000 or 11,500. 11,000. New truck is $499,500 today. They go up and down based on probably their inventory. Or that type of new truck. I think the rear load was $289. Just under $300.
So since we're leasing, does the lease company provide a truck if that one was to break down or?
They do. Yeah. Or we'll come out to repair or whatever. And they're out of Cleveland. Actually, I think we picked it up or got it delivered was the day after we signed the paperwork. So
We still pay for the repairs, though.
I'm pretty sure, I didn't sign that lease, so I can't remember for sure, and I didn't have it.
Pretty sure we do.
I'm sure we probably pay for repairs.
It's a lot cheaper to own one if you maintain it.
Any other comments, questions?
So the only other thing I want to add, I did talk about last time, was keeping our services, maintain them. We prevent this by having regular cycles of replacing equipment, not waiting, 6, 7, 8 years. even though they don't have a lot of miles because of where it is, they still have a lot of wear and tear. And in the case of what we've been doing with them is double duty, literally, as trucks are down, they're running 2 cycles a day because they're picking up trash there and going back and get the recycling. So, you know, the cost is, we just have to be prudent and make sure we're planning. Part of what I talked about from day one, plan to have new purchase of equipment and have that money set aside, or whether it be set aside in capital or knowing that we're going there. So.
I say we take our time and fix it right one way or another, and don't jump into anything.
Okay. Any other further comments or questions? Mr. Mayor, I thought, look, you were gonna pop in on that.
Yeah, I just, the ballot thing, I mean, the ballot thing happened last year, right? In my eyes, you guys were elected to make these decisions. You're more than welcome to do this if you think that's what needs to be done. I think I would hate for these gentlemen to be sitting and trying to figure out what's going on in May, and then, you know, the union's probably going to have to run a campaign. I mean, I don't know. And so I think either way, we have to have some money to get this thing going. We need to hire a superintendent. We need to hire somebody else, hopefully 2 people, and we need to figure out these trucks. So I would love to hear what you guys have to say about the ballot or having these guys make the decision.
Can I get how long have we not had a superintendent there?
So we had an acting superintendent. I know we had one in-house for a while, and then Bill was an acting superintendent, and then he stepped away from that because we were trying to get this figured out. So going out and trying to hire a superintendent and say, okay, you know, it's going to be on the ballot in May, or, you know, we may be privatizing here soon, is very difficult to hire a superintendent to do that.
You asked about superintendent. We haven't had one in-house since August of 24 when Les got her.
So we can go back and talk about that a little bit too. So Les did receive an injury, as you guys remember, and, you know, so we couldn't fill that position while he was out. And that was a very long time that he was out, and we thought he was coming back, then he didn't think he was coming back, then he thought he was coming back, and it was a very long time without. And there were some guys stepping up in-house trying to take care of that, and then, you know, with being shorthanded one at that point or two, we needed to bring somebody in, and that's when Bill went over and was kind of doing double duty because a lot of his guys were going over there and helping. So that's kind of our thoughts on that.
And you were asking a question of who, Mr. Mayor?
I would just like to know, would you guys just,
I'd like to have the residents vote on it, one way or another.
When did Bill step down as acting superintendent?
Can I make a suggestion? Since there's 4 of us in the building, I personally think Jason, when Les was off that first 6 months, did a great job of keeping us going. So I think Jason would be a great person to continue to lead us as a acting or as the foreman, so that way we're all informed of stuff and not coming secondhand.
Well, I understand that'll be
that would be an internal discussion with us, and I think we did that for a little while, right, Jason? And then did you, I don't remember how that went down at the end, but we can have those discussions, but, yeah.
that is an administrative function, without a doubt, yeah.
I know this comes back to the same old thing, but how come we can't hire anybody? Are they that lazy? They want things handed to them, or just nobody want to get their hands dirty? I mean, I think we pay good, and I think our insurance and stuff is good.
I mean, we spoke about this before. I think the pay is good, and these guys agreed with that, and so are the benefits. But I think, you know, younger people don't get into these professions. They don't think it's a cool job or whatever, and they don't look at the big picture about getting in and getting into a city job and having good benefits and good pay, and it just makes it difficult. And, you know, nothing against anybody, but you guys know the age of the people who get the positions and or fill out the applications, right? So is it a generational thing? I mean, that's probably a bigger question, right? But it's difficult.
Are we seeing that in other areas? I mean, we obviously address that area.
Hiring is just hard everywhere. In London, maybe people are going to Columbus and making a few couple dollars more, or, you know, grass is greener sort of scenarios, but hiring is difficult everywhere right now. And whether it's water, refuse, or safety streets, any of them, they're just really difficult to fill. It's kind of like, where is everyone? They gotta be working somewhere.
Where do you guys post the job applications other than the city website?
So aside from the city website and the city socials, we publish them as far out as Springfield. And they get circulated heavily, and I can pull the numbers for you too, for the hits on the job website and the socials.
I just know young people today aren't going to nuance their searches to be site-specific. They're going to go on Indeed or they're going to go on jobs.com, and then they're going to filter their searches from there. But by going to a blast provider.
We utilized Indeed for, I think, not this last round of sanitation hiring, but the one prior to that. Indeed has unfortunately implemented one-click apply, and you are inundated with anybody that just needs to apply for a job, not necessarily is interested in the job or qualified for the job through Indeed.
If I may, if I'm not mistaken, as part of the budget for the auditor's office, see if I can find that.
Yeah, I think Kenna wanted to do the ADP and to create some sort of patch that would assist with job applications. Is that right?
Right, and that was approved in the budget, so she should have. It was only like $9,000.
I'm not sure that would be compliant with whatever Indeed's issue was with sending too many.
The ADP recruiting.
Yeah.
So she wanted to. That was put in the budget, an additional $9,000. Maybe that helps out.
I have a note here. I'll check on that tomorrow. So just to comment, Shannon, on yours, we're seeing the same thing. So NTN for police and fire, we're seeing the same kind of thing. They talk to Indeed, just everybody throws it in. So these are very specific to those jobs. They actually take civil service tests. That's how they take them. And we run the same thing. We'll get 30 people, and then they find out it's in London or it's not enough money, or, you know, out of 30 people, we'll have 3 that might be viable. So I think it's a change of culture. It's a change in age, probably a combination of a lot. It's still an issue that has to be addressed, not an excuse. It's, you know, how do we get it out there to that working group? And
Well, I was gonna, right. So I was going to ask that. Right, is the CDL the hang up? What I wonder is the CDL a hang up? And
I can't answer that.
And my thought process about that. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Kevin. The thought process is we hire police officers that aren't trained, and we send them to school, right? And if there's a way to find a candidate that wants to do the job, but they don't have a CDL, that we can work that out and pay for the CDL, then we have an employee. And maybe there's a downfall to that you pay big money to have them get a CDL. Or I'm not sure how the CDL works, because, and I don't know this question, if that works, that you guys can help somebody and they just have to be with somebody and do so many hours before they go take the test. Is that a possibility? I just don't know how all that works.
You have, if you're gonna get a CDL, you have to physically, do a pre-trip on your bus or whatever vehicle. You have to know what the parts are. You have to be able to go around, and that has to be checked. You have to go do a road trip, you have to do, a parking. It's not like you go get your driver's license, no.
No, most people go to truck school for just like a 6-week program or something like that. But a lot of drivers go to trucking school and it's like a 6-week program. Yeah.
Well, I just wonder if that's a question, sir.
Get your CDL, absolutely. The lady was correct. A lot of times, the school district here may actually already have an onboard instructor, an OBI. That's how a lot of times a lot of schools will help people get their CDLs, is by having do those hours there with the bus.
You can't get your CDL until you're 20 or 21.
20, 21.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're talking like the tolls, they're not going to have candidates old enough.
Do they require a Class B or an A?
For school bus driving, I think
Well, there's different classes.
That's a chauffeur license, which is, yeah.
There's Class A, Class B, and Class C, and that all has to do with the weight of what you're driving.
I meant with our sanitation department. What do they require?
And how many classes.
and the Class A though is for
B.
passengers. So
Yeah.
as I recall, Class A is for passengers.
Well, that,
So if you get a Class B, you can get a job there.
Actually, when I first got my CDL, I was trained here by, the person in charge then. This is back 20 years ago, 25 years ago. Yeah, I wasn't trained by them, so they could possibly, if somebody wanted to do that, they could possibly train them to teach you to get a CDL.
and maybe that's the issue. I don't know, but I mean,
Well, I mean, if I was approached, if I wanted to, they have this new church bus situation here in London. Well, in England, other places, but it was asked if I wanted to ride the bus. I said, no, thank you. I do not want, it's just hard to have to go through that whole process of getting your CDL, and plus you have to do, like I said, you have to do a pre-trip and all that, well, you also have to take a written test.
so
So it's not,
there's some challenges.
yeah,
Well, and quite honestly, and this has been addressed, and I'm just bringing it up because until this last contract, if they had a CDL, they only got paid 10 cents more an hour. Is that right?
That was $1 now.
Nope. I think it was very little before the last contract. It got increased to like $1.50. Yeah. So at 10 cents an hour, that wouldn't entice anybody for that.
And you would hire somebody with only a Class B. They don't have to have a Class A, right? You would hire. What if they were an unemployed politician? Because I know a guy here in a few minutes.
Okay, well that's an awful lot of discussion. Let's get back on track. So 19025 has been read by title and number. This is to advertise for bids for the sanitation department. This is the second reading of this, but at least tonight, hopefully all of the discussion has been recorded. I know it's going to be hard for everybody in the audience without a microphone. That may not be well heard, but you'll hear at least the answers, so hopefully that helped out. Unless we have a reason to move and to suspend or something, I would think we would leave this on. Maybe we can find out by the next meeting a little bit more information if we could even put it on the ballot if that's a consideration or not. It may not be. I don't know.
Happy to look into it.
Okay, so we'll leave that on. Okay, 19125, a resolution. I'll accept a motion to read by title and number.
So moved.
Second.
Resolution 19125, a resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to advertise for bids for trash hauling services.
Okay, I don't think we already did that, so if we did, I apologize.
This is just like it sounds for the Safety Service Director to take bids for trash hauling. And I assume that's contingent upon what's determined in 19025.
Yeah, I think the intent was pass one or the other. One we go to bid to privatize, one we go to bid to replace this contract.
Yeah, they've just got, in our agenda, that the sanitation is sanitation is split out from trash hauling or something like that. It's two separate, sanitation department services and trash hauling services are two separate resolutions. Okay.
Okay.
When does that contract end? Was it March?
Technically, it's in March. I'm going to see if we can extend it. Yeah.
At the
Extension of the original.
Any further?
I'm assuming we're leaving this on.
I would think.
Okay.
19225, motion to read by title number.
So moved.
Second.
Ordinance 19225, an ordinance adjusting the rate of sanitation department services.
So this is also contingent upon 19025. It would be to determine whether to raise the rates for sanitation services.
Truly, it's 190 and 192 are the either or. Right, so adjust our rates for what we want to do to continue the service or whether or not we're going to advertise for bids. So one of those would go away regardless. Any further discussion?
Left on for third reading.
Okay, left on for third reading. Thank you very much. 19325, motion to read by title number, please.
So moved.
Second.
Resolution 19325, a resolution adopting the Madison County Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation 5-Year Plan Update.
I have a short statement I'll make on this. Adoption of this plan is required for Madison County to qualify for FEMA hazard mitigation grants, flood mitigation assistance, and hazard mitigation grant programs. Without adoption by all Madison County municipalities, our county becomes ineligible for federal grant dollars for floods, storms such as tornadoes, extreme weather that we may have, blizzards, ice storms. This plan ensures a countywide coordinated approach to responding and handling such emergencies. Once this is adopted, Madison County EMA will submit the plan and all support resolutions of adoption to the State Emergency Management Agency for their review, who then will in turn submit it to the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, for a county plan review and approval letter. This process that we're going through right now, this happens every 5 years. Any county jurisdiction that does not formally adopt a plan will not, I'll say that again, will not be eligible for any potential federal mitigation grant funding. And we're not on I think last council meeting, we're not on an emergency with this, are we? As long as it's done by first of the year, February, okay.
Passed by February 1, is that what the requirement is?
That's when, yes, but it's 30 days if there's not an emergency on it to enact it, right? So if you guys pass it on whatever you said, the 5th, I can't remember what day you said the next meeting is, it wouldn't take effect for 30 days, which would be February 5th.
And the deadline was what? February
1st, I believe.
I'll make a motion to suspend the 3-reading rule for this.
Second.
Mr. Stahl?
Yes.
Ms. Trainer?
Yes.
Mr. Eads?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Hitt?
Yes.
Ms. Jackman?
Yes.
Mr. McDaniels?
Yes.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Mr. McDaniels?
Yes.
Mr. Stahl?
Yes.
Ms. Trainer?
Yes.
Mr. Eads?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Hitt?
Yes.
Ms. Jackman?
Yes.
Thank you all.
All right, 19325 has been adopted. Moving on to new business, 19425, motion to read by title number.
So moved.
Second.
Resolution 194-25, a resolution increasing appropriations.
So this came up at the finance meeting. It wasn't actually, it didn't sound like this was a true emergency. Here's what's happened. The police chief, we've been on a schedule to replace cruisers. Or SUVs. I don't know what it is, Brent, but we're on a schedule to replace vehicles in the police department. This vehicle's 7.5 years old that they would like to replace. The last time we ordered one, I think we had 6 or 8 months before we got it because we had to order it, we had to wait on it, then they had to upfit it and outfit it and put radios and lights and everything on it. The police chief received an email from the company that they like to buy their cruisers from that says we have 3 on the lot right now. If somebody wants these, they're available right now. We confirmed that there's money in the capital improvement fund. If we want to do this, this would be allowing us to go ahead and make this appropriation and purchase this vehicle now before the end of the year because there's money there. If we don't spend that money, it goes back into the general fund to be reappropriated later. Is that correct, Mr. Saltzman? Did I get that pretty much right?
So that is a complete cruiser too. You're not buying the vehicle, you're buying the vehicle outfitted, and that includes the transfer of the equipment that needs to be done. So it'll be, when that money will have everything done. You're not buying an empty car and then later paying what we call upfitting, all the lights, sirens and all that. That is already done to it.
There was a small cost associated, I think, with just like placarding or putting on the.
Yeah, you'd have to put the marks of our side to say
Right.
the police, I think was it, yeah.
But everything else was available in the vehicle already.
Yep, that's correct. That was the benefit, not waiting 4 months to get a car and then wait 3 months to schedule it.
So this was not in the original package. We caught that. Clerk emailed that, so we have that in front of us. It's just in a separate email. It does say that this is, there's an emergency clause on that if we'd like to do that. If not, then the money that is there will end up going back in. We'll just have to start the process over come next year. Further discussion?
Let me look and see if there was anything else that the chief mentioned here.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is, Chief came and spoke at Finance. The money is currently in the capital fund. There's a supplier that had the cruiser already upfitted. The cruiser that needs to be traded in is 7 years old, 100,000 miles on it, needs to be auctioned off. The capital fund has $1 million available, but only through the end of the year. And we already talked about the benefits of moving now, which just gives the police department a cruiser on the street instead of in the shop, you know, getting all those upfit services. And emergency clause was concluded in the finance committee bringing to council.
So I'll make a motion to suspend the 3 reading rule.
Second.
Ms. Jackman?
Yes.
Mr. McDaniels?
No.
Mr. Stahl?
Yes.
Ms. Trainer?
Yes.
Mr. Eads?
Yes.
Mr. Hitt?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes. Motion to adopt.
Second.
Mr. Hitt?
Yes.
Ms. Jackman?
Yes.
Mr. McDaniels?
No.
Mr. Stahl?
Yes.
Ms. Trainer?
Yes.
Mr. Eads?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
19425 has been adopted. Moving on to 19525, motion to read by title number, please.
So moved.
And a second?
I'll
Mr.
second.
McDaniels?
I'll second.
Resolution 195-25, a resolution of transferring appropriations.
So this is $49,338.00. That's for computers to upgrade all the computers in all of the police vehicles. And I believe that was due to them needing to be upgraded to Windows 11, which the current computers aren't able to do.
Even if they could be upgraded, the state wasn't going to accept those do the protocol, the lead system for the police uses that. If I'm correct, I'm sorry, Mr. Saltzman.
No,
I'll
that's
let
fine.
you can
So
finish that.
the initial thought was that they could be upgraded to the Windows 10 Pro extension. The sheriff's office and Leeds both notified that Ohio Leeds and CGIS would not accept that. They had to be Windows 11 compatible to go with that system.
How many computers is it?
I think that is
Was it 9?
9.
Nine.
Yeah, I don't have that quote with me. I think it was 9.
And these are the cruisers' computers.
That's correct. These are the ones that go on the computer. They get the communications from the sheriff's office, from the dispatcher, the runs, the GPS, and all that. Yeah.
So there's a lot built into these. The $49,338, that right now is in the administrative support part-time position. If you remember when we got rid of the dispatchers, we allowed for administrative assistant, or I don't remember the correct term, a full-time and a part-time. So they've not hired the part-time person. That $49,338 is sitting there in that budget. That may not have all been there. There was a couple other things, but they can say this is coming from that line. And once again, if we don't spend it, then it goes back into the general fund for next year. So the money's there regardless. It's already there.
That's
Yes?
not
It's
Oh,
right
yes.
now, sorry, I can clear up that. The current, it's a cobbling of various sources, but all of the various funds are located under the personnel subcategory. And if the personnel subcategory transfers a total of $49,338 to operations category, all within LPD's overall budget, then they have the money in order to pay for these without it affecting their overall budget is fine.
Right, and we're not spending any more money than what we've already
No, they
appropriated.
just need to shift it from personnel to operations from, I think, 3 different sources that are being underutilized at this time. There's an emergency clause on this. I think, is there a deadline put on the, for the upgrade for the,
I think the quote was good through December is what the quote was good for. Is that what you're referring?
yeah, I wasn't sure if there was, yeah.
So the Windows 10 expired in on October 17th this year. We have the Windows 10 Extension Pro, so we're still getting security updates. The sheriff is leniently giving us that expansion. We have a plan, as long as we have a plan. The issue would be if one of those computers break down, they won't be reprogrammed.
But so the Extension Pro is that the port that's no longer going to be compatible with the Leeds upgrade, or it's not compatible now?
They don't accept it as a security. So if something would
okay.
happen, then you
Got
can
it, okay.
Well, they gotta have the computers.
Yes, they do.
I'll make a motion to suspend the 3 reading rule.
Second.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Hitt?
Yes.
Ms. Jackman?
Yes.
Mr. McDaniels?
Yes.
Mr. Stahl?
Yes.
Ms. Trainer?
Yes.
Mr. Eads?
Yes.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Mr. Eads?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Hitt?
Yes.
Ms. Jackman?
Yes.
Mr. McDaniels?
Yes.
Mr. Stahl?
Yes.
Ms. Trainer?
Yes.
195.25 has been adopted. All right, let's move on to roundtable. Who wants to volunteer to go first tonight?
I'll go for
You'll
it.
go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got a long list here. First of all, I want to thank all of our city employees for jobs well done, especially this past weekend. I know it was hell out there. And thanks everybody for taking care of the roads for us. Thank you for all of our police officers, our firemen, our EMTs, fire, I don't want to be misunderstood, ladies also, firefighters, that's the word I'm wanting. I want to thank all of our employees in this building. You do a great job. We've got Christmas coming up, so I want to wish everybody, and I'm going to say it, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Remember the reason for the season, and Thank you to Mr. McDaniel. Been a pleasure working with you, my friend, and been a pleasure having you on my committee. And I just wish you Godspeed in your journey ahead. And Merry Christmas to all of you. I love you all. Thank you. And that's all I got.
Who wants to follow that? Lisa?
I really don't have anything to add other than Merry Christmas to everyone. Take some time, enjoy the season, and make some great memories. I'd also like to thank Matt for all of his hard work and the time that he's put in here as being council clerk, and also to Brent.
Amen to that.
John?
I'd like to thank the fire department for the good news they had the other day about rescuing the dog who was on the ice pond. It's nice to hear nice things and always bad things on the TV, so it's nice. And I also want to wish everyone and their families a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And my opinion on this trash thing, people don't understand why we're doing what we're doing. We have to explain things to them better. They just want things cheaper or less expensive, but they would like it localized, even though it might be cheaper the other way. And I personally don't think going to the ballot's going to go that way. Thank you.
Shannon?
It's hard this time of year to take some time and have peace in mind, peace of heart, peace to your friends and family, but try Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Take some time.
Thank you. Andy?
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone, and I'd like to thank Matt and Brent for their service to the city. The next service committee meeting is January 13th at 5 o'clock in the meeting room next door.
Thank you, sir. Mr. McDaniels?
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. Voters have put me up here for this two-year vacation. And the mayor's table over here, thank you for the abuse and the bullying. It's only made me stronger if I do indeed come back in 2 years. And it's been a pleasure working with the council up here. I'm out of here.
I would also like to thank our clerk once again, Mr. McDaniels. We've all been up here. It's not an easy job, not easy to explain to people. And hopefully Mr. Boyd will do a good job. And my last words are, please be kind to each other. Please be safe with whatever weather we hit. And Merry Christmas. Thank you. This meeting is adjourned.